Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Grady Tech, and in this video I will be unboxing this Huawei Y9 Prime and giving you a quick hands-on review. Now this phone is being sold exclusively online on Amazon.in. It's available only in one variant, priced at 16,000 rupees. It's available in two colors, blue and green, and we have the blue color. So without any further delays, let's get on with the unboxing. So guys, here's the box, and on the front we have a quick preview of how the phone looks like, which is a complete display along with its name, that's the Y9 Prime 2019. Now on the sides left and right we have the phone's name, that's Huawei Y9 Prime 2019 once again. On the back it's pretty much plain, and at the bottom we have the IMEI numbers, storage information and some more specifications. So guys, now let's unbox this phone. At the top we have the phone itself, let me just put that aside. Next we have the IMEI number stickers, and following that we have a box with SIM card ejector inside it, followed by documentation and this free transparent case. Next we have a USB Type-C charging cable and a regular 10 watts power adapter. Now let's put all these things aside and come back to the phone. Let me just remove these covers and the IMEI number stickers. So guys, finally this is how the phone looks on the back, and this is how the phone looks on the front. Now let's have a quick physical overview and then check out the specifications. So on the back this phone has a 3D curved fiberglass with two-tone finish on the back. At the top it has this silk texture which definitely looks quite premium, and the overall two-tone finish reminds me of the Pixel phones. Anyway, at the top it has the dual camera setup followed by a single camera and single LED flash. Beside that we have a circular fingerprint scanner with a nice matte finish underneath, and at the bottom on the left side we have the Huawei branding, and on the right side we have some more specifications. Now on the front we have the massive display with just the earpiece at the top and pretty slim bezels at the top left and right, and at the bottom it has a slightly bigger chin. It has a 2.5D curved glass at the top with a free screen guard pre-applied. Now on the right side it has the power and volume buttons made of plastic. They are sufficiently elevated and have a nice clicky feel to them. On the left side it is completely plain, and at the top we have the secondary microphone for noise cancellation, SIM card tray housing a hybrid SD card slot and a nano SIM slot. So you can either use two nano SIMs or a nano SIM and an SD card. Following that we have the pop-up camera which can withstand up to 15 kg of weight, and it has been tested over 100,000 times. So it's very well tested and pretty durable. Finally, at the bottom we have the mono speaker followed by the USB Type-C charging port, primary microphone and the 3.5mm audio jack. Finally, this phone has a thickness of 8.8mm and weighs 196 grams, and that's definitely pretty heavy. Now let me just try on this case. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we put on the case. It is pretty sleek, it doesn't add any weight to it. It has a slightly raised lip for the camera module, so when you place your phone directly on its back, it does protect the rear cameras. But on the front there is no raised lip, so you shouldn't be placing your phone directly on its face. Now even with the case on, buttons are nice and clickable, and the case has all the cutouts and it's completely open at the top. So guys, now let's look at the specifications. This phone has a triple camera setup with a 16 megapixel primary camera with f1.8 aperture, a 2 megapixel secondary camera with f2.4 aperture to take portrait shots, and finally an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. For selfies you get a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. It has a 6.59-inch TFT LTPS display with 91% screen to body ratio and Full HD Plus resolution. Under the hood, it sports a Kirin 710F processor with Mali G51 MP4 GPU. It's a processor built using the 12nm manufacturing process with 4 Cortex A73 cores and 4 Cortex A53 cores. By the way, it also has GPU Turbo 3.0, which is supposed to improve gaming experience. Right out of the box, it will be running EMUI version 9.0 based on Android 9.0. Finally, powering all this is a 4000 mAh battery. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on. Now let's check the storage information. Out of that 4GB of RAM, we get about 2GB of free RAM right out of the box. And out of that 128GB of storage, you get about 115GB of space for your user apps and user data. Now let's check system and about phone. So guys, right out of the box, this phone is running EMUI version 9.0.1 based on Android 9.0, that's Android Pie, with June security patch. So here's the security patch information. I already got a new update with EMUI version 9.1.0 and it's of 3GB of size, and here's the changelog. I'll update it later, but for now, let's check out the camera interface. So this is the interface for the rear camera, and it just looks like any other Honor phone out there with just an extra toggle over here. So right out of the box, it always uses the primary camera, and if you want to switch to the wide angle camera, you need to click over here, and now we are using the wide angle camera, and that's it. Next we have video recording, and we can record video in a maximum of 1080p resolution. That's it. There's still no 4K resolution and probably no electronic image stabilization as well. Next we have portrait mode and a dedicated night mode, and finally aperture mode to take portrait shots of objects. Now let's check out the front camera, and as you have seen, phone probably has taken like a second to just open the camera. So it's pretty slow and probably as slow as the Redmi K20 and the K20 Pro, maybe slightly much slower. Anyway, this is the front camera and initial impressions. Front camera looks pretty promising. Now this phone also has this AI mode for both the front and rear cameras, and if you switch to the portrait mode, we also have 3D lighting effects. And that's all there is to the front camera. There are no extra modes, and there is still no auto HDR. So if you want to take HDR images, you need to enable HDR mode directly from here, and that too, the HDR mode only works for the rear cameras. So that's pretty surprising and disappointing as well. Now these are some sample pictures. So guys, this is the sample footage recorded using the rear camera of the Y9 Pro in 1080p resolution. And as you can see, there is no stabilization at all, and that's gonna be a major drawback in the camera department at the very least, as most of the phones in this price segment come with electronic image stabilization. So guys, this is the sample footage recorded using the front camera of the Y9 Pro or the Y9 Prime, and audio is from the phone itself, so check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered. I'm currently recording this video in 1080p resolution. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. I already set it up, so here we go. Fingerprint scanner is fast, but not as fast as the Oppo and Vivo phones. It's definitely usable. It's probably taking like a second to unlock, or maybe less than a second. By the way, there is no face unlock feature on this phone, and even if they did put face unlock, it's pretty much useless. As I've shown you, front camera takes almost a second to just pop up. So there's no face unlock, and you really have to just use the fingerprint scanner, and as I've said, it's not super fast, but it's definitely usable. Now let's test the speaker loudness. So guys, speaker on this phone definitely sounds pretty good. It's kinda loud. It's not the loudest I've heard in this price segment. It is sufficient for media consumption, ringtones and alarms, but I wish it was slightly more louder. So guys, this is the user interface. Nothing has changed over the past few years. It's the same old toggles, it's the same old UI with just few added features. And just in case if you're bored with this navigation bar, we also have gestures. You can enable them from settings, system and system navigation. We have the gestures over here, and they work just like on Xiaomi phones. To go home, you can swipe from the bottom, and if you want to go back a step, you can swipe from the right side, or you can swipe from the left side. You also get this cool animation. And if you want to trigger Google Assistant, you can swipe from the right side corner or left side corner. For recent apps, you can swipe and hold, and here are your recent applications. So that's the gesture, and for a phone with such a huge display, I prefer using it with gestures. Now these are all the sensors this phone has. It literally has all the basic things. It even has gyroscope, compass, so nothing's missing. And this phone has wideband L3 support, so at least as of now you can't watch videos in high definition on Netflix or Amazon Prime. You can watch it on YouTube, and that's it. Now for some quick initial impressions, phone feels pretty huge. It's kinda heavy, but weight distribution has been pretty good. It doesn't feel all that heavy in, and the display is just massive. Honor is really trying to cut corners. They did give us a pop-up front camera, but as you have seen, it's pretty slow and it can't be used for face unlock feature. Cameras are good and you're getting 128GB of storage, but that's it. There is no improvement in performance for the past 1 year. We are getting the same old Kirin 710 processor. So that's probably the only biggest downside for this phone. I've tried playing games like PUBG and Asphalt 9 on this phone. I didn't have any issues. Yes, you can play those games without any major hiccups, but at the end of the day, when you compare the price to performance ratio, it isn't competitive enough with phones like Vivo Z1 Pro, Redmi Note 7 Pro, or the latest Realme phones in the same price segment. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do you think this phone stands a chance against Redmi Note 7 Pro, Vivo Z1 Pro and even the Realme X? Would you be willing to buy this phone instead of those phones? Let me know by commenting below this video. By the way, if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. And if you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.